Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Leo for September 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. If you've been wanting to have a live reading with me, I've been on sabbatical and I have not been taking on new clients, but I'm open, I don't know for how long, to take on new clients for live one-on-one readings. So you can check that out along with my astrology apprenticeship program at anniehelpsyou.com. So what's going on in September? We have Mars finally waking up, so productivity, ambitions, movement, starting to light up. I know in general Leos are action-oriented people, fire signs, right? So fellow energies of Mars, which rules Aries, which is another fire sign. So if you have been unproductive and feeling lazy, then very likely things are going to start to turn around here for you very quickly. If you're one of the people who lights up during the retrograde, like I've been talking about, some people, especially people who have Mars retrograde at birth, they might light up at the retrograde time. Your productivity cycle might be coming to a close, but however you've been experiencing Mars, it's about to shift. So we have that going on. We also are free from Mercury retrograde. Finally, again, we had the post-transit shadow period lapse here in the first few days of September. And then we start the Venus shadow period, which is before the retrograde. So we have a very busy cycle. If you've been watching my reports for a while, you know I've been talking about this year as being one of dominating personal planet retrogrades, and I have been preparing you as such. If you have been holding off on bringing something out into the world, and you can't wait until December when all of this madness clears, then you have a wonderful opening to do this, like towards the end of the last few days of August and the first week or so of September is one of the best breathers that we've had for a while and will have for a while from the several layers of retrograde energies. They're still going to be present. That's why if you're not quite sure that you're ready to launch, you may want to wait until Jupiter gets into Sag, which will light up your energy really beautifully, and plus other planets will be in Sag, and then everything will be direct. But if it's something you really need to bring out now, you have a window for that. So we've got this amazing Earth trine that's going on between Saturn and Uranus, bringing things into form in this wonderful way. So ideas, creative projects, anything you've been working on can really crystallize and manifest. And we've got then Mercury coming to make a grand trine. Okay, so Saturn and Uranus have been in this trine configuration from September, or let's say August 14th through September 14th. They're locked in this configuration. This is a long-term blessing. And we will have felt it before August 14th, and we will feel it after September 14th as well. But it's locked in exact configuration for a month. So the whole first half of September, you have all of these blessings where the planet of volatility, Uranus, and surprises and change is locked in a beautiful, perfect, the best in astrology aspect with Saturn, which is kind of opposite the energy of Uranus. You know, this long-term builder, foundation creator, stability bringer. They're in perfect, wonderful agreement. So it's like the best of having these bright, innovative ideas with blending with the traditions of the past and bringing stability to places where there weren't, and bringing excitement and change that's productive in places that had gotten stagnant. So this is just amazing energy. There's a lot of energy. I'm calling the theme of this month actually for Leos, amped focus on work and money. Exactly what is going to be in which places is different for you early, middle, and late degree placements, but what's the same for all Leos, early, middle, and late degree, is that there's this energy of focus and work and money. So the early degree placements are going to have Saturn and Uranus aspecting their daily work and their career houses. And that's like a double focus. So lots of possibilities for your work expansion, for amping your routine up, for getting more organized, for streamlining your efforts, for working less and making more, for bringing positive change into your workspace and really feeling on track. The middle degree placements, also the early degree placements are going to have that Pluto-Jupiter aspect, that beautiful Pluto-Jupiter aspect in their 6th house of work as well. And then Jupiter is bringing in this energy from the 4th house, which is home and family and real estate. So this can have anything to do with real estate matters. This can have anything to do with home and family, or your inner world, like your child's psychology, the psychology that is from your childhood that's affecting you now. These are beautiful blessings. So it could have anything to do with things related to home. And if you work from home, then that's extra amped up for you too. The middle degree placements bring, and actually the middle and late degree placements, you're going to have that trine with Saturn and Uranus shift to your house of creativity and your house of education and teaching. Now, if you're a person whose work is creative, it's artistic, it's athleticism, it's modeling, acting, performing, singing, anything where you're out in front of people, leading people, or anything having to do with children, if that is your work anyway, then this is going to be further boosted for you, because that fifth house rules all of those things. And any of you who have work in publishing, speaking, writing, teaching, learning, international business, anything having to do with different countries, different cultures, different languages, middle and late degree placements, you're having all that beautifully aspected. So you could have random international trips come up. Your work, which maybe was more geographically defined, can now be international. There's amazing opportunities to learn. If you've been wanting to learn something, a hobby that you're wanting to learn, this is another way that this can happen. If there's something that you would love to learn more about, you could find the perfect program for you to learn and the perfect teacher. And that, again, could bring positive change and long-term gains, or anything having to do with children or writing or any of these things. This fifth house is also the house of true love and romance. So meeting somebody abroad or meeting someone through international business or publishing or teaching or learning is also a possibility. So just beautiful aspects in these areas of life, having to do with fun, having to do with pleasure, having to do with hobbies, having to do with, excitement and stability at the same time. It's very rare that we have such a beautiful blending of those two areas of life. Usually there's like one of them bringing possibly chaos and change, right? And the other one kind of like working on these long-term things. But now they're working together. So it's a very auspicious time in the stars. So let's see. The full moon, okay, it's going to be at 2 degrees of Aries. Since Aries is a fire sign, which trines Leo, that energy is very, again, auspicious for you. So early degree placements, let's see, early degree placements are going to have that in the 9th house, the full moon, and then middle and late degree placements are going to have that in the 8th house. So let's talk about what that means. Full moons bring, the full moon's going to be on September 24th. Full moons bring fullness, completion, fruition, sometimes drama, to the house and the sign that they're in. And so there could be accomplishment, there could be something you've been working on that happens, there could be a major manifestation, or there could be major focus in the area of life. So the early degree placements, so like the first 10 days of the birthday or the first 0 to 9 degrees, if you're watching for your rising or moon, that is back to this publishing house. So writing, speaking, teaching, editing, learning, education institutions, traveling international, all that stuff. You're having an extra boost here. The middle and late degree placements, you are having this happen in your 8th house. And the 8th house has to do with inheritances, sweepstakes, winning money, shared resources, spousal money, family money, money from the government, money that you borrow, money, that you're loaning to somebody where you're the bank. Esoteric studies, deep psychological breakthroughs. So there could be something dramatic involving even an intimate relationship or involving money, sex, or power. So that's all coming up. So look for those energies around the 24th. If you are like a July-born Leo, then this moon is going to trine, this full moon will trine your Leo placements. And if that's the case, then this can bring even more blessings to your, whatever it is that you're working on, or wherever it happens to manifest. So let's see what else I wanted to talk about. We're going to go into Venus retrograde in the general transit report. You definitely want to know about that because Venus rules love, beauty, and money. So September, October, November, December are all going to be affected by this Venus retrograde. I'll mention this later too, but make sure you write down, make a note to yourself, go back and listen to my Venus retrograde video. You have to do this because there are so many things you have to know about Venus retrograde that I cannot do justice in the monthly videos because we have so much to talk about. So I've made this amazingly comprehensive video. I also have an amazingly comprehensive blog series about Venus retrograde through the signs. In October, I'll go through and talk about what house for early, middle, and late Venus will be retrograde and some themes that are coming up in general. So we're going to go more into this, but you're definitely going to start feeling the effects of Venus retrograde, which can bring issues or blessings from the past involving love and finances and self-esteem or beauty things or aesthetics, so design projects. In general, Venus retrograde is not the best time to do design projects or, like to redecorate your house or to paint or get furniture or buy a new wardrobe or do something drastically different with your hair or appearance or get a body treatment of any kind, like a tattoo or a piercing or an other procedure. So if you want to do any of those things that I just listed, try to lean towards the first week or so of September before we get deep into the energies, because they're not going to be clear until we get into December. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. So those are the things that are most on my mind for Leos for this month. Now let's talk about the rest of these amazing transits. We've got 10 awesome transits this month, and about half that of stressful, challenging ones, including one major red flag one. So we're going to go into the dates of those aspects and what you can expect from them and how to maximize the general transit. So we're going to go into all that now. So the theme of the month for all signs for September 2018 is major movement and momentum. We've been waiting for a long time for Mars to wake up from its slumber from retrograde. Most people will have been affected from the Mars retrograde as feeling lazy, unambitious, trying to do things that aren't working out, getting super frustrated. And so for those people, things are going to change now. And either it's going to be like a light switches on and your energy levels, your enthusiasm, your ambitions just wake up, or it will be like a slow tingling awakening of coming back to life of your ambitions, your goals, and your motivations to reach goals, and to do anything really. For the percentage of you, the smaller percentage of you who experience Mars retrograde with the opposite, in many cases, people who have Mars retrograde at birth will experience the opposite. So for them, Mars retrograde is their most productive time. So every 2 years, they have a cycle of, 4 or so months where they wake up, they get all this stuff done. So for y'all, you're going to be going back to sleep, but maybe you will have learned some lessons about how to best use your energy and bring some of that productivity into your daily experience afterwards, after the transit. So we have Mercury retrograde pretty much clear now at the beginning of the month. We have Mars just starting to wake up, taking until October 10th to regain full strength. And we have Venus getting ready to go into retrograde. So that's not going to happen until October 5th. But the shadow period starts September 4th. And the shadow period is just as important to note as the retrograde. Occasionally I'll have someone ask, why are you talking about this when it's not happening yet? And my very simple, very powerful, very accurate answer is, it is actually happening. And that's why I have to talk about it. Not everybody wants to deal with this. Most people don't want to mention and just wait until it's actually retrograde. But you are going to be having these things come up that are true to the transit well before the transit occurs. And that's one of my overriding messages I hope that you see from the work that I'm doing, is to let you be aware that things are not happening just when they, quote, happen. There's an orb of energy before and after aspects where we're feeling them. It's kind of like when you're driving out west from the east. I do this trip across the country back and forth very often. And I always notice, right, when the eastern kind of trees and density of population start to dissipate, you start to see some, desert plants come in, and you start to see more of a sparsity of trees and a change in the kind of trees. And then you might see some mountains in the distance, and you feel the dry air. And so the desert has come to you, but you're still kind of in the space where it's not quite there yet. But you feel it, and it's happening, and it's relevant, and you're having manifestations from it, but you're not quite in the desert yet. Okay, that's how this shadow period is. you know, it starts to smell like this, you know, the stories that are going to come up, the typical feelings, emotions, topics start coming in. And what are those topics? They have to do with love, beauty, and money. So everybody wants to know about Venus retrograde because these are the big things that people talk about. I have done a very comprehensive job on trying to prepare you for Venus retrogrades. I have a video called Venus Retrograde Do's and Don'ts. I highly recommend that you watch this video because I am not going to do Venus retrograde justice in this video, or even in the months that in October and November when Venus is actually retrograde. We'll be talking about this between now and December, but there's nothing that I have and nothing that I know of available, even on the internet, that is as comprehensive as this video that I've made for you about Venus retrograde. So you definitely want to search for Annie Venus retrograde. I go into so much detail, and you will be very educated about this transit and understand how to best use it. Okay, but in any case, the basic things that go on are, you are not seeing clearly in love, beauty, and money. Not the best time for doing any augmentation to your body, tattoos, implants, adjustments, procedures. Venus retrograde energy is not the best for that. Making big decisions in love, you're not seeing clearly. It's best to evaluate things and work in the backdrop. Money decisions, not the best time to make big money decisions in general. And things from the past that are issues will likely come back up, for better and worse. But blessings from the past can also come back. So like, let's say you're a person who teaches a certain class and you have to, you know, it's the time to cycle to enroll for this class again. That's okay, because it's a class you've been teaching. And in that case, people from the past may come and you might have a very prosperous showing in your class. But this is something you've been doing. It's not brand new. It's not a new launch. It's kind of just leaning towards the past involving money. Okay, so those things tend to do really well. Going back to old clients, previous business ideas, working on them more, you know, anything that's worked for you in the past, doing those things again versus new things are going to be the tagline of September through half of December. Anything involving love, you may have love that comes back from the past. Okay, so yes, issues can come up and will come up from the past. If you have something unresolved in your love life, it's very likely that Venus is going to bring that up in a big way. But you can also have beautiful things from the past. Like, let's say you've been with your partner a long time and you had traditions and things that you did that were awesome and you loved them and you miss them. Venus retrograde can bring them back into your life. It can bring the spark back into your love. For people who are separated from their love, if for any reason, maybe it's a military situation where somebody's abroad working, or any other international work, or even local work. If you have a partner who travels for work or who has been away, Venus retrograde can bring them back and you can see them, you know? So it's very beautiful, and there are many, many wonderful things that can come in. It's just important to remember, not the best time for launches, doing new things, making big moves, making big decisions, if you can help it, because you're not seeing clearly and you don't have the gusto of Venus going direct. It's leaning towards the past. Okay, now it can also bring love back into your life from the past. So somebody that you dated in the past, or a love interest, or someone who you were interested in the past could come back in. And in those cases, it's open for evaluation. Just try to not make any big decisions from what you're evaluating. Okay, so besides Venus retrograde and talking about all this retrograde stuff, we've got a massive amount of this beautiful energy of positive aspects, especially with outer planets. And I've gone into detail about those in the individual reports. But I want to just re-mention this, that for the first half of September, we are locked in this trine with Saturn and Capricorn and Uranus and Taurus. This can bring major manifestation, major things coming from the ethers into form and grounding and material support in wonderful ways. We also have a beautiful aspect with Jupiter and Pluto. This is a sextile between Pluto and Jupiter, and it's occurring in, you know, for an extended period of time again, you know, from like the 7th through the 13th, we can feel this really strongly. So beautiful blessings, especially near 18 degrees. That Earth trine, any Earth or water placements that you have near 2 degrees will be further enhanced. For the Jupiter-Pluto aspect, water and Earth aspects that, or planets that you have near 18 degrees will be further enhanced. And I usually go 5 degrees in any direction. So, 13 degrees through 23 degrees for that Jupiter-Pluto aspect, and then like 0 to 7 degrees for the Earth aspect. So if you have Earth or water placements in any of those configurations, then this could be an amazing time for you. And even if you don't, you're the ones that just get the extra blessing. Everybody has the chance to benefit from these beautiful aspects. So it's super exciting. Overall, this month, we've got about 10 awesome, amazing, harmonious expressions. The dates that those occur, so let's see, I'm going to start to give you some dates here, but I want to give you a couple of caveats. One thing to know is that we can sometimes and very often feel the manifestations of a planetary configuration before or after. So I'll give you the dates, but you can feel them before or after, okay? That's the first thing to know. The second thing to know is that if you want a detailed play-by-play of what aspect is occurring on what day and what you can expect from it, then sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. At anniehelpsyou.com, you can get this free newsletter. I do a write-up that does a summary of the month, what you can expect, important details, and lots of additional details that I can't get into in the videos where we talk about what is happening on what day and what you can expect. Okay, but I am going to hit some of the highlights here. So these are the days to look out for sweet vibes, okay? But remember, you can feel them before or after these days. So the 3rd, the 6th, the 7th, the 9th, the 11th, the 12th, the 15th, the 16th, the 20th, the 23rd, and the 24th, and the 27th. Look out for stress, challenges, and overstimulation in the days around September 7th, 8th, 12th, 13th, 18th, 20th, 23rd, and 24th. So now I'm going to just hit a couple of the highlights here. I'm not going to go into all of them. You have to see the written report for that. But we've got some sweetness at the beginning of the month with a beautiful aspect with Venus and Mercury. I love this for all things. September 3rd is an amazing day for pretty much anything, okay? And this is because the Mercury shadow period, post-shadow period has passed. Mars has been direct for a little bit, is regaining steam, and Venus shadow period has not begun yet. So September 3rd, if you've got to do something important, I love September 3rd for this. I also love the days around it because they're mostly amazing aspects. But there is one aspect within that first week, actually 2 aspects, like in the first 7-8 days on September 7th and 8th to look out for. But those days up, really the first week is just amazing for anything. So if you have to do anything important in love and beauty and money, like if you want to do your, any kind of physical things, aesthetics to your house, design projects, not on your body, but in your home, in your office, art projects, things bringing anything artistic out, anything really. This first week of September is the week that has the best open energy, free from the retrogrades, that we've had for a long time and that we're going to have for a long time. You're not going to get a freedom from the retrograde energies like this week until mid-December. Okay, so if you've got to do something important, if you have a launch that can't wait until December, you've got to bring something out, do it in this first week. This is amazing energy. Okay, we've got Mercury and Venus in a beautiful aspect. Saturn going direct can bring manifestations out into the world. We've got this trine with Saturn and Uranus. The Earth trine that's been in effect since the middle of August will still be in effect through the middle of September. It's in this exact configuration for a month. And then on September 7th, Mercury comes in and makes that trine with Uranus and Saturn a grand Earth trine. So everyone has the potential to be blessed from these transits and do stuff with them, but especially people with anywhere from 0 to 7 degrees of earth or water placements in your chart. Placements in your chart can go well beyond your sun sign, so here, those of you who have some working knowledge of your chart, this is going to benefit you to know this, okay? If you've got anything near 2 degrees in earth and water, this is going to energize whatever placements you have there and be even bigger and bring things to you in a bigger way. As I talk about bringing things to you in a bigger way, do note, I get this question very often. It goes something like this. Annie, And sometimes it's nicely worded and sometimes it's not nicely worded. And gosh, I wish they would all be nicely worded. But in any case, different versions of this. I'm not having the benefits that you or other astrologers are talking about as potentials from the stars, okay? So why? Why are they not having that? The reason is because if you're not a vibrational match for the things that are present as potentials, then you're not going to experience them, period. That is a law of the universe. Astrology can't get around that. Nothing can get around that. If you have a story, a program, a vibration inside of you, doesn't have to be conscious, can be unconscious, can be ancestral, can be genetic, can be whatever. If you have a storyline that's in your energy field that is different from the one that this beautiful aspect wants to create for you, you're not going to have it created for you. And that doesn't mean that the astrologer is wrong, and it doesn't mean that astrology is wrong. It means that you're not a vibrational match for the potentials that are sitting here. It's like I always say, if you have the ingredients to make a juicy peach pie on your counter, and you come out looking for the peach pie, and you're like, where's the peach pie? Someone's gonna ask you, did you make the peach pie with the ingredients on the counter, or are they still there as ingredients? So this is your call from the universe to take an active role in your destiny. And if you see that there are inconsistencies with the potentials that are sitting before you, that you feel, that you see, that you hear about, and they're not manifesting, you have to look inside. Some tools I love for working inside: EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. This is a form of meridian clearing that clears your energy field, clears belief systems. You can find things totally free online. You don't have to have any money. You can be in the worst situation in your life and not be able to put any resources into this and still access it, okay? So look up EFT. I love the Presence Process by Michael Brown, one of my favorite tools. I love the Marriage of Spirit, the exercises in Section 2 by Leslie Temple Thurston. These things are just like blockbuster self-development tools that can help you to be a vibrational match for the things that you want and these beautiful potentials that we're sitting here in front of. Okay, so now that I've said my piece about that, so once we get out of this first 7 days, and even at the end of the 7 days, we've got the Sun opposing Neptune, okay? This is our first aspect that's a little bit, iffy. It brings this question of confusion, unclarity, miscommunication, deception, security breaches. So if you're feeling insecure or weird, regardless of all these potentials around, you have to honor that. We never know when we're going to have a pocket of a manifestation from a challenging aspect, even dancing in between all these beautiful aspects. Okay, so, feel your way through it. On September 8th, we've got a clash with Venus and Mars. That's going to bring some challenges and stress. On September 9th, we've got this beautiful new moon with two beautiful outer planet aspects that are positive affecting it. But we also have Neptune giving this same kind of message: guard your personal data and possessions. If things seem too good to be true, they may be. Anything that you're not certain about or you're confused about, you need to take more time around. But in general, this new moon at 17 degrees of Virgo is awesome. We've got beautiful positive boosts by Pluto and Jupiter, and it's time to make your new moon wishes on anything involving Virgo. So health, diet, healing work, whether you're doing the work or receiving the work or would like to be doing the work, medical tests, exams, or procedures, anything with animals or pets, or workplace issues or goals. September 11th and 12th, we've got another set of amazing aspects: enhanced discernment, positive outcomes from having an analytical eye. So you can see, this chance for confusion and uncertainty is present at the same time as these enhanced mental powers are present. So you might feel that at one point on one day, and then someone else might feel it. These are rolling energies. It's kind of like, what it's like when you're in the water, right? Let's say you're in the ocean and there's like a pocket of cold water, right? You're like, oh, cold. How did that happen? I just wandered into a pocket of cold water, but your knee, the bottom of your leg, is in this warmer pocket, right? So that's happening, and then you're like, oh, better go over there into the warm pocket, right? So that's what these transits are like. They're happening at the same time. They're influencing. Their chance to manifest is occurring simultaneously. So you need to use your intuition to feel out, like, I'm feeling good today, and I know these aspects are good. and I'm feeling them, so I'm going to do important things. But then if you're like, well, everyone's saying this is really good, but I feel like crap and I don't feel sure, then don't do anything. You know, you've got to wait and follow your personal flow. Astrology is nothing unless it is helping you to enhance your own connection to yourself and to spirit and to the all that is. All right, so then we start getting a little dicey here in the middle of the month, September 12th, 13th. We've got a little rough patch. This can bring surprises in money and love. This can bring unpleasant jolts, or this can just bring overstimulation. Maybe money stuff is going great. It's going to bring up the polarity of me and we. So you versus other people, people close to you, entities that you're working with. But while this is all going on, we do have that beautiful Jupiter-Pluto aspect that can supersede and bring protection and benevolence even through these challenges. All right, so that September 13th, you got to look out again. If you're not sure about things, deception, uncertainty, security breaches can be more likely. Then on the 15th and the 16th, we've got more sweetness. You know, there's like at least 10 beautiful aspects this month and close to half of that of challenging ones. Okay, so even though there are some things to look out for, there's definitely more awesomeness than there are stress factors. Also towards like the second week of the month is a big time for that eclipse, for more eclipse news to come in when we're like a month after the August 11th eclipse, so around September 11th. That sometimes is a time when major eclipse news or continuation of a story that's already started can come up. So Mercury doing awesome things on the 15th and 16th. But at the same time, Mars and Uranus are going to make a bad aspect. Yes, I'm calling it bad. Yes, you can use it for good. Squares can always be encouragers to do something, to break through something. So in that way, it could be good. But Mars and Uranus getting together in a challenging situation, these are one of the aspects that I put a red flag up for, okay? If you've watched me for a while, or maybe you can tell already, I'm super positive. I have a very optimistic viewpoint. The art of astrology, there's a science of astrology, okay? But there's an art of astrology. It's in the eye of the beholder, the reader. So I look at everything like, how are we going to make this awesome? But at the same time, if there's something dicey, I will tell you, okay? And this is one of those things. September 18th, watch out for your body. Watch out for pissing people off. Do not antagonize a crazy person. Do not antagonize anybody. Go easy on exercise. You know, go easy on important conversations. Try to not plan anything important, especially with somebody that pushes your buttons. And if you can avoid people that push your buttons around this time, that would be better. I've seen Mars aspects sometimes show up as soon as 5 days before, you know, and quite a few days after. So remember that about these aspects. You can feel them before or after. And this is occurring at the same time that a lot of sweetness is occurring. So you've got to just, you know, remember what I said about being in the water and the warm and cold patches. You have to, when you're in a really warm, comfy patch, then do some stuff. If it's a little bit dicey, then maybe hold off. And since Venus is going into retrograde and it's getting closer to the shadow period, by this time, your discernment might be off a little bit. It might make more sense to wait before you do something important. September 20th can be great for enhancing mental powers, but it can also bring a lot of criticism. So the 20th, the 21st, and the 23rd, we've got some challenging aspects, 2 of them with Mercury. Okay, so these are energies that can bring up old wounds. These can bring news about a physical malady. It can be something, you know, negativity or criticism could come to you now. It could be anything having to do with like somebody, a force coming in, not being nice, you know, just basically general negativity and criticism. But then on the 23rd, we've got this little boost with Mercury and Mars. So this brings the opportunity for amazing conversations and amazing social contacts, and can bring great mental power. The full moon at 2 degrees of Aries on September 24th is boosted with sweetness by a trine with Jupiter and a sextile with Mars. At the same time, it can have additional intensity from a square with Saturn and then a Chiron conjunction. So whenever Saturn is involved, usually criticism or pressure is involved. Okay, and then whenever Chiron's involved, especially in a challenging aspect, it can bring this victim tyrant mentality or polarity. Okay, so you could feel like somebody is doing something to you, or someone could be accusing you of being a bully or a tyrant, which you may or may not be. But this topic is what's brought up. So fullness, completion, fruition, drama can come to anything in the area of Aries, especially your physical body, especially the head or brain, or anything having to do with your circulation or your neurological system. It can have something to do with fruition about recognition, so coming out into the light, your image, your individuality, pioneering efforts, daring goals, anything that has to do with Aries. We end off the month on September 27th with a beautiful aspect with the Sun and Mars. So this is great for confidence and enthusiasm. Do remember that even though it can bring positive use of assertiveness and great for attracting or expressing positive masculine traits or energies, we're getting super close to Venus retrograde now. Okay, so just be really careful with the decisions you make, and don't let your enthusiasm make you take on something too soon. All right, this is like this process of following retrogrades is like watching the ripening of fruit. It makes me think I have a grapevine, and you feel the grapes, right? And they're edible. You get to where they're edible, and you might be excited to eat them. But if you wait like 1 or 2 more sunny days, that grape is going to be bursting with so much extra sweetness and juiciness. That is what I want you to hold with you for this energy of the retrogrades. And you'll hear me mentioning this a lot because I really want to get it imprinted into you to associate the retrogrades with this. If you're excited to bring something out, but things aren't quite working out and you're not completely sure, maybe it's better to work on it in the backdrop until December. Mid-December, the end of December is going to be an amazing time in the cosmos. So many wonderful things going on and beautiful energy around bringing things out into the world. So just kind of tune in and make sure that the things that you were thinking about doing are really ready to be plucked off of the vine. So if you are interested in learning astrology, I would love to see you in my astrology apprenticeship program. I don't know for how long, but I will be off sabbatical. I have been on a long sabbatical of not taking individual clients for live readings, but I have some openings now. So if you've been wanting to work with me, then you have your chance. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com. You can sign up for my free email newsletter there, get your monthly write-ups, get all kinds of other goodies. And you can see more about working with me in various capacities on my website. If you'd like a written horoscope from me, then go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. And you'll also see my lifestyle blogs there. If you're a traveler, go to Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss. That is where I write my monthly astrology travel reports. So astrology reports just for the traveler, extra things that we might not talk about in the general report or the sign reports. And definitely check out my husband's website, IamHelios.com. My husband, B.R. Newman, is an amazing phenom of creativity. He's amazing with tarot. He teaches tarot. If you've wanted to learn tarot, definitely check out his tarot course. And he puts together these vibrational masterpieces to help you attune to the stars and to bring the positive aspects out of expression and to work with the challenging ones. So check out his database of audio assistance at IamHelios.com. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.